Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. Before I get started, how many of you own a house with a swimming pool, or if you've ever had to take care of a swimming pool? Not hired a pool service, but that you've had to take care of a swimming pool. Was it harder and more difficult than you thought? I mean, you can throw chlorine in, but it's a whole lot more than that. My wife looks at our pool and she goes, "Oh, look how pretty it is." She has no idea of all the moving parts that are involved in keeping that swimming pool pretty and clean and pristine. And I'm going to talk about how swimming pools and RVs are quite similar today. So thank you for joining me. All right, in the next few minutes, I'm going to play a voicemail from a man named Jason, 76 years old, that got roped into buying he didn't get roped in. He just kind of, I think he got led by a trance into a 17-year loan. He'll be 93 years old when he pays off his motorhome. Hopefully he'll be around. Hopefully that motorhome will be around when he's 93. But I'm going to play a voicemail from Jason. I'm going to respond to Manny out in Arizona. Manny's talking about, he wants to know how old is too old on purchasing a unit. And then Susan and her dog Penny want to know if I think that they should sell their house and go full-time live in a Class C. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, Jason, I'm going to play the voicemail. It's only 1 minute long. But I think many people are like Jason. If you need help with your situation, I will gladly help. I won't charge anything. I will give you my perspective. You may like it. I'm probably going to give you some ideas. I think I will. Some things that you haven't thought of. And then some things that you probably need to think of, whether you like them or not. I will be honest and truthful, and I'm not going to charge you anything, but you have to be responsible for your decision. So let's play Jason's phone call. If you want my help, that QR code you see on the screen right there, scan it with your phone, scan it. It will take you to a resources page. And one of those resources will say seeking help for your RV or with your RV. It will open up to a Google document. It's real simple, and it will tell you what I need to know from you. If you want my help, please scan that QR code. And if you're not going to scan it, you'll find it in the description down below in the link. So let's go ahead and play Jason's call, and then we'll move along.
Good morning, sir. My name is Jason. I'm 76 years old. I'm calling from Columbus, Georgia. Back in February, I purchased a camper motorhome from Camping World in Salem, Alabama. I put $45,000 up front to make my payments easier on me as I'm on Social Security. And somehow they made the price go up from less than $80,000 to $135,000 with every extended warranty known to man and other hidden charges. The maturity date is 17 years at $556 a month. I will be 93 years old at maturity. Please let me tell you my story. Thank you so much, sir. Have a blessed day. And I'm very proud of what you do for people. You're a wonderful man. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, Jason, for thinking of me. And the question, I think that my question is, do you really think they were hidden charges? I think Camping World would say, no, they weren't hidden. They were right there. We just didn't know to look at them. Jason just didn't realize that it was optional. It was not required, whatever the thing was, extended warranty, for example. So what did I do with Jason? I contacted him and said, Jason, you got to give me some more information. I appreciate you and I will do my very best, but please go to that link of information, send me that info, and I promise I will try to help. So I haven't heard back from Jason. Hopefully he'll join me and I'll be able to kind of get him on down the road, so to speak. 93 years old. 93 years old when his RV is finally paid for. Okay. Manny from Arizona wants to know how old is too old. He says, hey, Wingman, been watching you for some time now. My wife and I have owned several RVs. We're looking at a toy hauler. I'm a retired firefighter. She'll be retiring from nursing next month in June. To be honest, I'm not going to purchase a new one or one that was built during and after the pandemic. After watching horror stories on your channel, we're gun shy of buying. How old is too old to purchase a unit? And from a private individual, I'll be using your recommendation of an RV inspector to go over the unit. Your guidance is appreciated. Manny from Gilbert, Arizona. Let's see. All right, Manny, you may or may not know I used to own a campground. I've been around RVs my entire life. we had, I'm not sure about how old is too old. Do you mean that I can get into campgrounds? Because many campgrounds, if an RV is over 10 years old, they won't let you in. Now, I wasn't that way. When I bought my campground, there was a rule, an existing rule that said, if your RV is over 10 years old, you can't come in. And I bent that rule. I said, you know what? There's a whole lot of 30, 40, 50-year-old RVs that are stunningly beautiful, better kept than this new stuff. And I let them in. Now, if it's a junker with a window unit hanging out the side of it, hadn't been taken care of, you ain't coming in. So I'm not sure if that's what Manny's talking about. You did say about getting an inspector. I think getting a third-party independent RV inspector is a really good idea. However, not all inspectors are the same. I was talking to a guy the other day, and I said, there's a saying that, what do they call the person that graduated from medical school last in their class? Last in their class. They call them a doctor. What do they call the person that graduated first in their class? They call them a doctor. Which one would you rather have doctor you? Not just a doctor. It's the same way with getting an RV inspector. There are places where people can go. It's like a mail order. It's not mail order, but it's you can go to a school for some amount of time, and you can learn more than you know now and pay money for it and get a certification. And that's an important step forward. It is. But a certification does not mean that you are experienced. I believe that you want an inspector that has got time and experience, and he's got the scars, so to speak, the miles on them to prove that they are qualified enough to take care of you in terms of giving you a good, qualified, knowledgeable inspection. Otherwise, I think you're just wasting your money. Just along those lines, real quick, I'm trying to get this guy to join me. He and I have never met. We've talked on the phone a few times. He is a badass RV inspector, and if he will join me, I think that he will ruffle a lot of feathers. But I'm telling you, this is like the doctor that graduated first in their class. You're going to pay more for that doctor, but I think that doctor can help you more than the person that says, "Yeah, come on in." So that's that. Manny, did that help at all? I'm not sure if it did. Let me just look this thing over again. The one thing I would say is, if you're going to buy, be careful that you're not buying a unit that came from an auction. Not trying to be ugly, but an RV that was purchased at an auction. The reason it was purchased there, somebody had to sell it, and the seller oftentimes is a dealer that couldn't sell it. Why couldn't they sell it? Was it a Frankenstein monster that they had to steal parts off of to make everything work because it was a COVID build? Was it in a flood? Not everything is going to be on Carfax or anything like that. It's not. There are what they call gypsies in the RV world that buy some of these junkers from auction. They clean them up. They're not really clean, but they're clean up just enough, like putting makeup on somebody that's really ugly. They go, "Oh, that doesn't look so bad." And then they turn around and they sell them. And you're going to pay the price for that. So I'd be careful of buying from an auction. I would be careful about what inspector that you get. All right, next, move along. This is from a woman that wants to know if I think it's a good idea for her to sell her home and live full-time in an RV. Should I buy an RV to live in full-time? Dear Alan, been watching your videos for a while now. Appreciate your honest, down-to-earth style. When it comes to RV life, you seem like somebody who gets it. I thought maybe you'd be willing to give me some advice. I'm a 62-year-old woman living alone, except for my little dachshund Penny. I've been seriously considering about selling my home so I can buy a small Class C motorhome and live on the road full-time. My main goal is to travel the country and visit my grandkids who are spread out in several different states. This would be a huge change for me, financially and emotionally. I'd have to use the money from selling my home to fund the RV purchase, and I want to make sure I buy from a dealership that not only sells me the motorhome, but also has the service locations where I can get it worked on when needed. I guess my question is, am I making the right decision? I know you can't tell me exactly what to do, but I really value your thoughts on whether full-time RV living makes sense for someone like me. I want the freedom and the adventure, but I also know there's a lot I haven't probably thought about. Thank you for any advice you can share. I really admire what you do. Warmly, Susan and Penny. There are lots of Susans out there that are women who are either divorced or they're living alone, and they have some assets, they have some equity in their home, and they have this dream of getting out and exploring the world and meeting new people. And there's nothing wrong with that. But Susan, thank you for reaching out. I would say, first off, don't tap the brakes. Apply the brakes firmly, and when the car stops, the emotional car stops, put it in park and take the keys out. We need to talk. At least you're coming to me and you're asking about, is this the right thing for me? There's so many ways to approach this. I don't know anything about your health. I don't know if you are an experienced RVer, if it's just a fantasy, if you've ever owned one before. I don't know if you're a project person. I'm going to talk about my swimming pool here in a minute, I think, if I have time. Because a swimming pool is a project, but so is an RV. I don't know if you're the kind of person that looks at something and says, oh, you know what? I can figure that out. And I get pride from that, because if you are a problem solver and somebody that likes to tinker, I think that an RV could be a perfect project for you, because there's always something to do on an RV. I think that you need to go and join other women. There's a group on Facebook. If you haven't heard about it, it's called Girl Camper. That's a Facebook group. And I think most of them are probably part-time women, but they're all women, all girls. And there's a lot of full-timers in there. And instead of looking at the fantasy, because the fantasy is great, I am not lying. I mean, it's you can get wrapped up in this dream. I can travel, and then we can stay the holidays over here. We can travel over here. That is not reality for most people. Join Girl Camper. Ask the difficult questions. Go on YouTube and look for women who have these solo women travelers, full-time RVers, and follow them. And don't just look about how, look at the hiking trail we're on today. That's not the kind of video I think that will be helpful to you. As I said, metaphorically speaking, you want to tap on the brakes, stop the car, put it in park, take the keys out. Doing your homework is the most important part, and choosing the right RV is only part of it. You got to choose the right dealer. You want to live full-time in an RV, and there's a lot of smoke out there in the industry from manufacturers. Oh, this is built for full-time RV living. Bull. A tent is built for full-time living too. You're just not going to live very well. That tent's not going to last you forever, but neither is an RV. Well, no. Hang on. Full-time RV living. What does that mean? Truly, what does it mean? Does it mean one person is going to live full-time in that RV, just one, and the RV is going to never move from the original campsite, RV park, where you take it, ever? Or does it mean 2 or 3 people are going to live in that RV with a dachshund named Penny, and you're going to be traveling every few weeks? Does it mean you're going to be traveling in the southwest part of the country where it's 150 jillion degrees, it feels like, and that roof is going to be baked forever and ever and ever and ever? Or are you living in an area, down in the Gulf Coast where you can get deluged with rain over and over and over, and those seals are going to be tested over and over and over? There's so many things to consider. I think that going to campgrounds is a good idea. If you can go and find a Class C, find a woman in a campground, find a Class C in the campground that you like, talk to people. RVers love to talk. Most of them ought to have a talk show on the radio like I did, because they like to talk so much. Ask them about their RV. What's the best part? What's the worst part? What was the scariest part for you? Ask those difficult questions. As I said, try to connect with people on YouTube, because YouTube can be your best friend. There's also a lot of jerks out there, as you know. Full-time RVing means, and by the way, folks, if you're still with me right now, drop a comment. What would you tell Susan? What she's taking the keys out. She's just sitting there. She's absorbing this information. And I hope every woman and every man, Jason, that's, 76 years old. It sounds like, I guess he lives by himself. Take the keys out. Do some homework. What advice would you give to people that are like Susan? Full-time RVing means there's no other place to go. If your RV breaks down, to try to find a service center that's going to take care of you from coast to coast, St. Augustine to San Diego, good luck with that. In theory, it sounds good. And you may have a few people, my RV broke down and a dealer fixed it for me. Yes, these things happen. But generally speaking, RV dealers will give first priority to the person who bought the RV from that store, not their sister store over here, but from them. You need to be able to find an RV dealership that can service you. I work with a handful of dealers, and they're really good. One of them I talk about a lot is Berryland Campers in Louisiana. And this is not a commercial, but I'm going to give you an example. In the back of Berryland, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. Anybody that's been to Berryland Campers, and man, it kind of looks like a little Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's. It's just beautiful. The most important part to me is in the back. They've got 42 service bays. 42. What does that tell you? I think it's the biggest service center in the South, in the Gulf Coast area. 42 service bays. Most RV dealers have a handful. 8, 10. They sell, 1,000 RVs a year, and they got room for 8? You want a dealer that can service you. Even if you're on the road, you need to find a dealer that will be caring enough that when you call them up, like up in Iowa, my Cheyenne Camping Center, best people, there is nobody better in the whole wide world than the people at Cheyenne Camping Center in terms of down-to-earth integrity, honor, and people come from all over the country to buy their RV from them. If you're in San Diego, or St. Augustine, either one, Iowa's like right up here, like a big old triangle. You have a problem, they're going to talk to you. And they will even make a phone call for you if they have to help you find a dealer that can fix things. But going back to you, Susan, if you are easily annoyed when things don't work properly, if things get under your skin, if you're really picky, if you're not able to improvise and fix things and deal with things, if you're not able to see, on an RV, everything's either going to break or it is broken. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. My swimming pool. Again, my wife looks out of that pool. She says, honey, it looks so good. She doesn't realize that inside that swimming pool water and the chemistry of it are all kinds of things. You've got acid, you've got pH to monitor, chlorine, you got free chlorine to monitor. You've got cyanuric acid to monitor. And all these, you can't see it. Looks good to me, but it may not be good. So you have to test it. You have to stay on top of it. Just by looking at it, you don't know. Well, looks wet to me. Yep. RV look good. Got black tires on it. Yep. Looks good to me. RVs are like swimming pools. They will break if you don't take care of them. Real quickly, I'm going to tell you, if you want, I'm going on too long. Just say, if you want a pet, you got a pet, that dachshund. That's something else. Susan, a dachshund. I grew up with dachshunds. They got legs about that long. How are they going to get up in that Class C motorhome? I mean, they might be able to make it. It might be able to make it. But you want to carry it up and down, up and down, up and down. Maybe you do, and some people do. But I think after a while, you're going to get tired of it. Rent an RV. Read the comments here. Some people will have some pretty good suggestions. And you can always put the key back in, and turn it on and drive on down to an RV dealer. But do your homework first. Keep an open mind. Don't just listen for the things that will validate those emotional dreams and fantasies that you have. All right, that's it for today. I went on too long. Please, if you haven't yet, you want to find out the resources, how to contact me, where I buy my shirts, where you can get a discount on these shirts just like I do, how I can help you or at least provide you some perspective. Scan the QR code on the screen or find that link in the description down below. Drop a comment and let me know where you're watching today's show from and if you got anything out of it. Thank you so much for being a part of this, as I said, virtual campfire. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Y'all be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.